Hello, fellow humans. Welcome. Thank you for checking in on me once again. I wanted to, first off, thank you to anybody that took the time to watch my very brief but self humiliating videos on basically just pushing to get out the vote. Particularly my Batman video. I think this election is so important that I'm willing to make a fool out of myself if it helps push that point. I would like to think that people believe that I really believe it's important if I were to make a fool of myself to that extent. So if you did watch it, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're already planning to vote, then that's great. I think more than anything, the message, the emphasis on those two videos in particular, and also a little while back I had done a video on vote.org, and in all those cases it's not just about encouraging you to vote specifically, it's also about following up and checking after the fact, especially if you're going to do mail-in voting. There's multiple sources out there, the headcount.org, vote.org, and howto.vote, Democracy Works. All these sites have tools available to not only help you vote in your state and let you know the steps you need to take, but also how to verify your vote after you voted, make sure that it was counted appropriately. So I hope that you got something out of that. If you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it, or at least got a laugh out of it at my expense. But I wanted to talk today about California, COVID case totals, and El Dorado County specifically. So, replanted, took a trip to Apple Hill, which is up in El Dorado County. On a whole, I thought that Apple Hill was doing a really good job with their mask protocol. But the thing I wanted to talk about was, and this was a learning experience for me, I have to admit. I realized that I've been a little bit naive in some things. So El Dorado County has a couple of places, which I didn't know, that are not abiding by the mask mandate. And one of those places is called Apple Bistro. And it used to be called the Apple Hill Cafe, or Apple Cafe. I haven't eaten there in years. I was there when I was a kid, a long, long time ago. So we ended up going there to eat. Not until I sat down did I become consciously aware that everybody wasn't wearing a mask. All the people that were working there, the people that sat us, the hostess, everybody. We were sitting outside, but we were also given the option whether to eat inside or outside, and we just naturally said outside. But then as we were going to sit, we were thinking, don't you have to sit outside? And so while we were waiting for our food, I actually looked them up and come to find out that they are operating without a license. They actually had their license suspended by the county, by the part of the public health department, because they were not abiding by mandated health standards. So I thought this was amazing. The article that I found that was exposing them for not following the mask mandates was 2 months old. So this restaurant has been in operation, and as far as I know, is still in operation right now, all this time, defying the mandate. So we ate our meal, paid, left, and I took a closer look than when I came in at some of the signs they had posted. Their sign that at first glance looks like the standard, mask must be worn, observe social distancing, all that, was actually the opposite. It was actually no social conditioning, no rubber germ spreaders for your hands, no air inhibiting, masks. And I was stunned. And then it it had a declaration basically, and it was citing HIPAA, which is the standard that no government entity has the right to know your particular medical situation. So if my doctor deems that I shouldn't be wearing a mask, then I don't have to wear a mask, but I don't have to disclose to you that I have that, whatever that condition is, because it's my private business. So it just got me to thinking, it's just, okay, so you're going to cite that as your defense, but you still have the health of the people around you. So you can have you could, like, for me, I was thinking about driving. I'm visually impaired. I'm wearing contacts right now, but you may have seen occasionally I'll be wearing my glasses. I am as close to legally blind as you can get. I mean, if I'm looking at you across the room, I won't recognize your face. So I have to wear corrective vision. This is on my license. I cannot operate a car without wearing my glasses. Now, does the government have the right to know that I wear glasses, that I have bad vision? Well, they do, to the extent that it could put other people's lives in danger. So, I mean, I can understand if there is some... I had Davide on this show, for anybody that watched, Davide de Salvia, who sat there and he had a metric that was able to measure the amount of oxygen that he was getting when he had his mask on and when he took his mask off, and it was the same. It stayed the same. The issue is convenience and comfort. It does get a little uncomfortable. I can agree with that. Wearing a mask for a long term can get uncomfortable. It does not stop you from breathing. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I didn't realize that there are businesses that are still able to operate without a license. The other notice that this restaurant had was essentially saying, I am not disclosing my private medical information to you, and you as a government entity are trespassing. And when I got back home, I read more following up on it, and as it turned out, they had actually had, and there was video footage of this, they had OSHA show up along with the police department to perform a health inspection, and the owner of Apple Bistro refused the entry. And in the video, they end up, they have a confrontation and an argument, and then the inspectors leave without conducting the inspection. The license is suspended, and they just go on operating. So and then the next day I actually called the governor's office asking, who's the person I should go to if I want to inquire about a possible breach of the mandate. And he gave me the information for Dorado County specifically. Called them, couldn't reach anybody, but I ended up finding out the address for basically reporting potential public health hazards or violations. So that's what I did. I have not heard anything back yet. I may follow up if I can get a hold of anybody. But in the meantime, I'm going to post the information. I'm going to post the contact information. If you're so inclined to make a mention of it, definitely don't want to give anybody extra work or anything like that. But I really am earnestly interested in what's going to happen here, how this is going to play out, because it was just surprising to me that they were able to operate to that extent after that much time on a suspended license. So I will post that information. I guess the The lesson is you've got to do your due diligence, and if a situation doesn't feel right, if something doesn't seem right, then then leave, get yourself out of that situation. This topic was on my mind today. Again, this happened almost 2 weeks ago now, but it was on my mind today because I read an article that California is now approaching, or it may be at now, 800,000 cases of COVID, which is actually the most of any state, not only any state in the country, but almost every country worldwide that California has on its own. Now, to not throw California completely under the bus, we do have the most populous state, and Texas, who has 3/4 the population of California, has 750,000 deaths. So that's I think that's over 90%. And then Florida, good old Florida, has half the population of California and is at 700,000 deaths. So I take it with a grain of salt. I'm sorry, cases. I meant cases. I said deaths. Cases. So 800,000 cases. And it gets me to thinking about the places like Dorado County where there are businesses that are not doing their part. And the unfortunate reality of this is that it only takes a few people not respecting the health of the public to just keep this thing going. Because again, as we've addressed and discussed before, the wearing of the standard cloth mask essentially protects others from you. You'd have to get an N95 to have more extensive protection for yourself. Again, unfortunately, much like drunk driving, oftentimes the person who is being irresponsible is the one that walks away, and it's the other person that ends up being the victim of tragedy. It's not just people, as I'm now understanding. It's not just people who are going into businesses and refusing to comply. It's businesses as well who are refusing to comply and are operating under, and in an extreme situation like this, a suspended license for which apparently the local government is not that worried about, that they've been allowing them to run for almost 3 months and back down from an inspection. And I haven't been able to get a hold of them yet. So maybe if I put that out there a little bit, maybe we'll get some more people inquiring about it, and we can get some resolution on that. So thanks a lot. Please continue to take care of yourselves and each other. Wear your masks. Keep your social distance to the best of your ability, and just try to remove yourself from situations that don't feel right or don't feel safe. I'll be talking to you guys again really soon. Thanks a lot for staying with me, and have a great rest of your day. Don't be afraid to question the consensus.